Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us for this session hosted by GMAT Club. My name is Priyanka and I go by the name Sampriya on GMAT Club. And in today's session, we'll be covering about essay prep as well as interview prep with respect to IIM Ahmedabad. And to join us on panel, we have Manan and Vishal, and Abhishek will be joining us shortly. So Manan and Vishal, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi everybody, my name is Manan Puri. I am the co-founder of Strategy for GMAT. Today, GMAT Club has invited us to have this session, and I am staying a couple of alums, Vishal Mehta, who's an IIM Ahmedabad PGPX alum, and Abhishek Chavla, he'll just join in a bit. He is an admit, and we'll be covering this in two parts. The first part is about the essays, and we'll quickly touch upon, what you should highlight in each of the three essays that have been rolled out yesterday. And then we can cover Q&A. And in Q&A, you can ask anything related to interviews, essays, anything pertaining to life at IIM Ahmedabad, etc. Because Vishal is here and he's been there, done that. And then we take it from there. The session will be interactive. You can ask your questions on chat, I believe, Priyanka, and we'll pick them up as we go along. And looking forward to an interesting session. Vishal, over to you.
Thanks, Manan. Thanks, Priyanka and GMAT Club. I'm Vishal Mehta. I've done PGPX in 12-13. Before that, I had about 8 years of work ex in telecom. Post PGPX, I am in one of the leading automobile manufacturers. I handle their international business. So last 8.5 years with them only. So the journey has been fantastic. Before MBA complete technical, post MBA complete business side. It has been transformational. So I'll be happy to share what I went through. And if I may say, I have been interacting with many of the applicants, and I really think that taking help from people with your friends, family, maybe alums would be really helpful for you. So really excited to be here and looking forward to it. Priyanka?
Yeah, that's really great. I think Abhishek has joined us. Abhishek, would you like to introduce yourself to the applicants as well?
Sure, Priyanka. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the slight delay. I had some technical glitch. So, hi, everyone. My name is Abhishek Chavla. I work with one of the top consulting firms. I happen to be here because during my MBA application time, had applied to IIM Ahmedabad and got an admit there, but I decided to join another school. So happy to share my journey, my thoughts, especially on the essays. Firstly, like to congratulate all of you to be able to get shortlisted and be in this coveted or elite shortlisted space. I think not everybody gets a chance to do that. And yeah, really looking forward to sharing my thoughts and views with all of you.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Vishal. So let's get down to it. So the school announced 3 essays yesterday itself. Last year there were also 3 essays, but the word limit was different. There was one with 1,000 words and 2 with 500 words each. The pattern continued for all 3 rounds. This time around there are 3 essays with 500 words as the limit. So they are having mercy on all of you. In addition, you don't have to type them out this time around. I believe there is a copy paste option which is there. So again, that saves like almost 2 hours for you to do that. Your previous applicants had to type everything, and they obviously found a hack by the R2. Okay, so for the first essay, the topic is, can you walk us through some of the challenges you faced in your work life? Please describe how were you able to overcome them. So Abhishek, could you please share your thoughts on this in terms of how to structure it in a brief fashion?
Sure. Thanks, Manan. So I think if you were to look at the essay question, and I think that's what we should always do. There are certain words in that statement that would give you pointers in terms of how to go about it. So Manan, if you could just for my benefit and for the audience's benefit, go a bit slow and take it, say, a few words at a time, and we then uncover what it's asking, and we will take it forward from there.
Sure. So I'll go slow this time around. Can you walk us through some of the challenges you faced in your work life? Please describe how you were able to overcome them.
Yeah, so the first point is some of the challenges, they are not saying one challenge, they're saying some of the challenges. So they've kept it open and they say, can you talk about some of the challenges? So it can be, obviously you cannot have a laundry list, but it's okay to have say 2 to 4 challenges that you want to talk about and be very specific about them. I think the second important factor is they've specifically asked about professional life, right? So you cannot really talk about personal life, and there may be some great examples in your personal life that you would like to talk about, but since they have very, very specifically asked about professional life, make sure that you're sticking to it and you're not really talking about personal stuff or personal instances just because it would look good in the essay. And what was the last bit, Manan? I'm sorry, I did not follow that.
It was, how did you overcome those challenges?
Obviously. So how did you overcome? So I think for each of the challenges, it's very important to firstly talk about what was the situation, give a context in terms of, what were you doing at that point? Were you leading a team? Were you an individual contributor? What was the situation? What was that challenge? Maybe your team lead went on a personal emergency and he wasn't available for the next 1 month or whatever. Maybe there was some mismatch in terms of expectations with the client, and then it was a strict timeline, whatever it was. But you have to firstly talk about what was the situation, and bring it out in such a fashion that the reader is able to appreciate the challenge. So that's very important. The second part is, what did you do in that situation, or how did you overcome the challenge? Talk very, very specifically about instances or thoughts or initiatives that you took to overcome the challenge. It can be as big as I was working with a startup and there was nobody, so I had to interact directly with the CEO. It can be that, or as little as that I had to assemble a team of interns to get this job done in the required timelines. It can be anything, but you have to talk about how did you overcome the challenge. Big or small, doesn't matter. If it was important in solving that problem, it should be mentioned. The third thing I believe is very important is, and a lot of people miss out on that, is to quantify the impact. If you would not have solved that challenge, then what would have been the scenario, or what would have happened? Or if you did solve that, you overcame that challenge, what did it amount to? Did it save X million dollars for your company? Did it add to the bottom line or the top line of the company? Did it impact 100 people, 1,000 people, 1 lakh people, whatever it was? The quantification aspect is something that will separate you from other candidates, because if you are able to tell me that, okay, this was the problem and this is what I did, but you are not able to help me understand the magnitude of the impact, then it becomes very difficult for me to judge. For instance, somebody's solution might have impacted 10 people, somebody else's might have impacted 100 people, and somebody else might have had an impact of 10,000 people. So obviously those three are very, very different when it comes to the magnitude or the degree of impact. And I think that appreciation has to happen, because you are not there in front of the admissions committee to present your case. So that quantification is definitely something that you should look at. In terms of the structure, I think we can start with a very crisp intro para, wherein we just talk about just a very brief intro in terms of, okay, I've witnessed a lot of challenges and overcame them throughout my professional career so far. Just to give a broad intro, and then talk about one instance in each of the following paras. Again, it can be 2, it can be 3 or 4, depending upon how impactful they are, and they should ideally be ordered in the order of impact. So the most impactful example should come first, and then you should go in that order. Again, 2 or 3 or 4 examples, it's up to you. And then you can just conclude with a overall para in terms of not only talking about, what traits you have shown while solving those problems or overcoming those challenges, but also connecting the dots in a way to help them understand how will those traits help the class at IIM Ahmedabad. So you may say that there was a challenge and, I overcame it by being resourceful. Okay, I managed with the team of interns. I was very resourceful. I managed with a team of interns. How would your resourcefulness help the class experience at IIM Ahmedabad? I think that's again something that not a lot of people do, but it will help you get those brownie points from the admissions committee. So that's what I would say on the first essay.
Thank you, Abhishek. So key points here is mention maybe 2, max 3 examples to have an impact. Do quantify the outcome because that's what will catch the eye as well. And finally, link it to what will you do at IIM Ahmedabad. Again, demonstrate your research about the school. Thank you, Abhishek. The second essay asks, and Vishal, I'll ask you to give your thoughts quickly on that. Tell us what is special about you, which would make you a good addition to the classroom.
Thanks, Manan. I think this is from where it starts, where I think Abhishek finished, that what you bring to the table, the resourcefulness part. Now, the second essay is different. If you look at the first and the third essays, these are related to your professional life, career, and there are 4 corners set, right? So you cannot go beyond those 4 corners. But the second essay is, I think, very significant, very important in terms of what you can write on that essay. See, the IMA guys, they will always look for a person who is wholesome. There are different aspects of the personality, of the character. So if you can bring a different aspect of your personality, of character or character in that second essay, it would be really important. 500 words, huge amount of real estate, do not waste it. Try to use this to highlight a couple of aspects which are very different, preferably from personal side, not from professional, because professionally you will have, first essay, the third essay, even the application part, you have mentioned your GMAT scores, you have mentioned your ACADS and everything. But I think the second essay is very important from your personal side. Now, personal can be anything. So let me just touch upon, you can also use to show some, probably, something related to your career. It's not important. It's not really necessary that you show only your personal part. But, if there is a general theme that you want to grow as a profession, and then you are developing 1, 2, 3, maybe critical thinking, maybe, or different thoughts, or if there is a particular theme you want to show, you can show that. But I would really recommend that you show something really personal. Now, really personal can be different to different guys. As Abhishek mentioned, if you can quantify, now it is very important to quantify here. If you have transformed someone's life, if you have helped an organization, if you have volunteered somewhere, you can put that into the second essays, and it is really important. It will show your different aspects of the personality, whether you are empathetic, or you are helping people during the COVID. In fact, last time there was an essay that the guy used that second essay, why me, to show that how he helped his community during the COVID times or during the lockdown. So that is one way. Another guy, I think he mentioned that he has been a sport enthusiast, and what were his achievements on the sports field, as well as how it connects with his overall career, and how it will how it has helped him to grow in a more professional, or a better person, I would say. So structure remains the same. First 2 sentences, probably, the introductory part of your complete theme, it has to connect. It has to connect the 2, 3, paras you would cover. I would say do not go more than 3, probably topics in that para. And you can end with, conclusion that what exactly you will bring on the table with first, second, third para. There is one more thing I think I would say, that you can also say that how you will contribute to the class. I'll just give you an example. There was an applicant last time. He was from a rural background. I mean, whatever he has worked, is from rural side, right? And the typical question probably can be that what you can bring to the table when the corporate big honchos or big wigs are there in the class. So what you will bring? So what he said, and he was shortlisted. What he said that I'll bring the perspective from Bharat, that whatever you can discuss at the top level, it has to trickle down to the bottom level. So he said, I will bring to the table what impact your big decisions or your big initiatives will have on the lower strata of the society or the guy at the bottom of the pyramid. So he said that I have this rich experience of 10-15 years of rural India that I'll bring to the table in each and every discussion, that how it will impact the last guy on the chain. So this is one example. So similarly, I think you can have many aspects. One more thing, probably, you can show that you have researched your IMA part. There are clubs in the program, various clubs. And if you can contribute to one of the clubs, then you should show that. Like there are clubs, I think more than 35 clubs, mostly run by PGP, but there are some special interest group run by PGPX as well. I think you can contribute to that. I think suppose you are from the finance background, so and you want to grow probably in something else or probably in some different function, but you can tell that in this special interest group related to finance or finance club, you can contribute to the discussion, or you can enrich the experience of other guys, enrich the discussion with your perspective of your 7 years work ex in finance or work ex in certain industry. You bring that to the table. So I think overall, the real question is why IMA should select you and what you bring to the table. That is the crux of essay number 2.
Right. Thank you, Vishal. So I think the first two essays are broadly about why you. And in both instances, again, this could ideally have been one essay. They have broken it up. The first one is professional. The second one can be professional or personal. The important thing again here is to highlight instances and examples, or maybe cover a career journey itself, right? But at the end of the day, you have to mention how will you give back to the class, and here a lot more detail around it, and demonstrate your research about the school. So, for example, if it is a finance club, you should know what it does, right? You can also, name alums, for example. And I'm just hypothetically speaking, in my discussions with Vishal Mehta, who's, an alum from class of 2012, I got to know this, right? So that they also see that you've done your research. Ultimately, you are choosing the school as well, and it's not just the, school choosing you, right? Okay, moving on, Abhishek, in parallel, guys, you can ask your questions on chat. You can just share it with everyone. You can share it with me, and I'll ask as soon as we cover the third essay. And I did get a couple of questions in chat. I'll relay them over here as well and for the panel. But in the meantime, please do so. Okay, Abhishek, the third essay is talking about effectively why IIM Ahmedabad, and I'll just read the question stem for you. It says, what do the next 5 years mean to you in terms of your career? Very broad based. Go ahead.
Okay. So what do the next 5 years mean to you in terms of your career? Did I get it right? Okay. So see, again, now this is very specifically talking about two things. One is why MBA? The first two questions were probably more around why you, or why should we select you. This question is more around why MBA. Why from now till say the next 5 years or so, why does an MBA fit into your plan? Okay. And the other part is not just the MBA, which is a 1-year program in this case. What are you trying to achieve through it, and hence what is your short-term goal? Typically, PGPX or other programs would also ask you to talk about the long-term goal, but I think they are probably they have realized and rightly so that it's not easy to talk about a long-term goal, something 10 years hence or even farther than that. And it's always better to at least talk about the short-term goal so that people can share their thoughts, and that's where they would also be clearer. I mean, in 10 years, somebody who's aspiring for consulting today may end up being an entrepreneur, and that's totally fine. But nobody has that kind of a vision into the future. So talking about this particular essay, I think there are two parts to it. One is why MBA, and in particular why the PGPX program at IIM Ahmedabad, how does that fit into the overall scheme of things? And the other thing is, what is the short-term goal? Because the MBA is a means to an end. It is not the end in itself. And a lot of people, I think when they are applicants, or when we were also applicants, I think we kind of missed that part initially. And the questions like these help us and uncover that and reflect on it, that it's just a means to an end. It's a way to get to somewhere else. It's the uh, medium that will bridge where you are and where you'd like to be. So that's what you need to talk about, and be very specific about it. So why MBA? Obviously, you can talk about the exact reasons why you're looking for an MBA. It may be to switch your industry or switch your function, or maybe you want to start up on your own, but you want to get yourself accustomed or attuned to the way a business would run. And not just that, I think an MBA also helps with networking, with adding more people to your network, whether it's alums or current students and so on, professors as well. So I think it's very important to look at the decision of an MBA from various angles. I know a lot of us just think of it from the ROI perspective, and I'll talk about ROI as well, because I think it's very commonly misunderstood. But a lot of us, in India, tend to think about, okay, I'm going to spend so much money, and immediately after my 1 year MBA, I want to recover that amount through my CTC. That's not the way to look at it, guys. I mean, an example that I always share with people is, think of it like a longer term investment in your career. It is ROI, return on investment, not on return on expenditure. It is not a short term expense. It is a long term investment in your career. It is something that you're investing in for the next 25, 30 years of your career. Yeah. Now, if that makes sense in that time frame, and I think an MBA would always be value accretive or positive in that time frame, then definitely an MBA makes sense. If not, then obviously then what's the point? So talk about it not only from that perspective, that will give you an opportunity to develop a better career, but also talk about the network that you'll get into, the kind of learnings that you'll have. And to be honest, probably you guys will not understand it until you reach the campus or start the classes, but it is a privilege to be in those classes with so many awesome people all around you, and to be learning from those professors who are masters and experts in their respective fields. And trust me, it will hit you when you start your classes. And
Right. I
appreciate
think
this more, because they've been there and done that. But those are the various.
I think Abhishek is breaking up. Okay.
Okay.
One thing to clarify here, guys, just which I missed. So, few people have received a different question stem. The essence is still the same. So, for example, the essay one says that what would you do? What have you achieved, or the challenges that you faced in the last 3 years? For some, it's just open. Wherever it says 3 years, just stick to that. It does not have to be 1 year each. It can be anything in the last 3 years. Two challenges. And in the final question also, it is about what would a management degree bring. Ultimately, they're just trying to know what are your goals, why are you doing an MBA, why are you doing an MBA now, and obviously you're applying to IIM Ahmedabad, so they would want to know why IIM Ahmedabad effectively. They have not asked it explicitly, but it still means that.
Yeah.
Right?
Thanks, Manan, for that. So just to continue, I think on the why MBA part, look at it from different perspectives. And then on the short-term goal, be very, very specific about it. Don't just give a very broad-based answer and say that, oh, I'd like to join a general management role. It doesn't tell me much, to be honest. Okay, rather say I would want to become, a leadership trainee at Aditya Birla Group or whatever it is. Yeah, I'd like to join the lead program at Aditya Birla Group. Be very specific. Obviously, you cannot, predict whether you will eventually get selected by the Aditya Birla Group or not, but at least show that clarity of thought in terms of what you are trying to achieve. Okay, so that's I think it's very important, not only from the point of view of thought clarity, but also, I mean, not from the essay point of view, but also for your own clarity कि क्यों करना है MBA? What will you get out of it? Why are you taking this kind of risk? It's not exactly a risk, but because you would ideally be in a full-time career right now, you'll take that break, kind of take that risk and be in at Ahmedabad or wherever you land up for that 1 year, and then kind of restart your career in the second innings, right? So why are you going to do that? What is the rationale? Those things are very important to consider, for yourself than anybody else. So make sure that you're very, very particular and specific about it. Talk about not just what the role would, not the role that you want to be in, but also what would that role require you to do. I mean, सिर्फ कहने के लिए नहीं कहना है कि हाँ मेरे को जनरल मैनेजमेंट करना है या मुझे कंसल्टिंग में जाना है. क्यों जाना है कंसल्टिंग में, and what does consulting involve? Do you know? Like if I were your interviewer, my first question to you would be, okay, so you want to join a management consulting firm. What does a typical day in a management consultant's life look like? And if you don't have that clarity, then I'm sorry, I would not want to speak to you further. And then I think coming specifically to IIM Ahmedabad and the PGPX program, this is why MBA and why the school or the program in particular. Be very specific about, the key features of the program. What would it bring? For example, it would land you in a peer set which I think is unmatched. Where will you find an army guy and a doctor and a CA and an engineer solving a case study sitting in a syndicate room? It will only happen at IIM Ahmedabad or at one of the top schools in the country or across the world, right? So talk about very specific things that an MBA will bring and how it will help you achieve those goals, I think is equally important. And when you talk about the particular goal, link it to how an MBA will add value to you and how it will help you achieve that goal.
Right. Thank you, Abhishek. So again, the key theme I think across 3 essays is that demonstrate your research about the school. Be clear in terms of the structure and the outcome that you're expecting. Goals are not, just flash in the pan. I want to get into product management, but for example, product management, B2B, B2C, the kind of firms that you want to work with, are they directly working on, say, Amazon Web Services, which is both B in some sense C as well, or if you want to work at Microsoft or Flipkart for that matter, right? So you need to be clear about it, do some research, reach out to people, etc. And rest assured, these essays are read by the ADCOM and they're very well prepared. I think with IIM Ahmedabad, I realized last year is in the interviews, they have gone through your profile. They'll probably ask questions about your hometown. They'll ask questions about what you've mentioned there. So whatever you're mentioning here, be sure to have thorough research and have an interview lens there, right? Now questions have come in. I'll just, randomly or ask you, Abhishek, and you, Vishal, questions around this. So the first question is, could you please give a brief on how to structure the CV for the application? So Vishal, would you want to take that up?
Okay, CV. Okay, so very clear. The career objective. I mean, the first part, it has to be 2-3 line statement about who you want to be. Probably link it with your past experience. Then straight away go to the career experiences part, because nobody wants to go through your acad straight away. First, tell us what you have done from your career perspective, where you started. Obviously, the latest or the last experience should be on the top and the oldest at the bottom. Then probably the acads, and then probably the extracurricular. And try to be, this simple smart goal. It has to be measurable. It has to be specific. So, and what was the outcome? So it has to be a smart goal. Very clear outcomes. Always try to write what you have achieved, not what you are doing. What is your responsibilities? Yes, but cover that into 1 or 2 points mostly, but try to cover 3, 4, 5 points on what you have achieved in that particular role. In the extracurricular, I believe you can write as many things as possible. There is no, I wouldn't say that, you could write only 2 or 3 points. Write as many as possible, because these are some of the areas where you would be able to write about you as a person. As I said, the essay number 2 and probably the CV part. The rest of it is all about your career, the past career, your future career. In fact, I would say that when you start your CV or essays, think of a story about yourself. If you have to write a story about yourself, how you write it in different steps. First, from where you are, what you have done in your life, especially what you have done in your career in last 7, 10, 5 years. What's the clear theme coming out of it? What you have learned, how you have grown in last 5 years. Always show that you have grown into the current role in last 5 years. Don't just write that 2 years I've done, a business analyst, then 2 years I become manager, 2 years I've done this. But show the theme, that the progress you have to show in your, whether it is in CV, whether it is your essay. So past, the present, what you're trying to do, you are applying for an MBA. Why you are applying for an MBA? It should be there in your story. What you are trying to get out of that MBA should be part of the story, and where you want to go in your, midterm, short term, 2 years, 5 years, what you are trying to get out of that MBA in 1 year, what you contribute to the class, to IMA. So it has to be a story. So the good starting point for all these essays and CVs, make a story about yourself as a person, not only career professional, but as a person, and try to use all this real estate to fill in all the dots, connect the dots as much as possible. I think that's my advice to you.
Yeah, thanks, Vishal. And I think that's very important. Don't treat those two things as distinct. It's part of your own story. In terms of structure, have a 2-3 line career summary at the top in case somebody does not read it. They should be able to gauge where you're coming from. Then talk about each of your job responsibilities and achievements in a particular job. So just structure it that way. And again, very important, succinct one-liners. Try and ensure that there are no 2-line statements, because again, it becomes difficult to read. Margin should be normal. Again, it's those hygienics, right? The adcom will read hundreds of CVs, and it should not seem like difficult to read in the first go. And a couple of questions that have come in terms of how many pages should it be? Ideally 1 page. Unless there's a very, very strong reason to go to 2 pages, you should not. Even if it's 10 years of experience, do that. Pick out the top 3 things from each of your roles or each of your companies, and then mention that. They should be able to give the adcom a sense of your progression, and mention that. Any 2-page CV for me, as a recruiter and as a admissions consultant, is lack of brevity to me, right? So just make sure you have that. Okay. There's a question on interviews, Abhishek, and specifically a difference between ISB and an IMA, the Wenth interview. How different they are, and I'll read the specific question that has come in. 1 second, it's at the top. Yeah, it says that do interviews revolve around your work ex and industry, or general knowledge questions as well? And how are they kind of different from ISB? Okay,
Abhishek is stuck.
Okay.
What's the difference or similarity? Okay, I think we're back. Not sure it was my network or yours.
It was yours.
Okay.
So you're back. So I'll read the question again. Do the interviews revolve around your work ex and industry, or general knowledge questions as well?
Okay. I think if I were to look back at both my ISB interview and my IIM Ahmedabad interview, I think nobody asks general knowledge questions as such. I think ISB in particular is almost 100% about you and your career and your journey and your story and where an MBA would fit in and where ISB would fit in, etc. IIM Ahmedabad, on the other hand, has a different pattern, and I think that's been the case throughout. I think Vishal would have also faced it, where they start with an extempore, and that extempore would generally be, around the industry where you have worked. Like I had worked with an investment bank, and my topic for the extempore was to compare the RBI governance performance versus his predecessor. Now, obviously, I'm not an expert on monetary policy or the RBI governor's performance, but they wanted to understand my views on banking and monetary policy and what levers the current current governor was pulling in terms of ensuring that we are able to ensure that there's a proper balance, especially this was around 2013-14 where we had wide fluctuations in the FX rate, and there were other factors as well. So the idea here is to be prepared with your industry. At least don't go for GK questions, but be very thorough about your industry, which I think is a fair ask. You should anyways be updated about your own industry, right? So for example, if you come from telecom, you should know what is the latest on the 5G rollout, when is it expected to happen, why what happened in the Vodafone case, what happened with Airtel, what are the spectrum related issues that all the three major players are facing. How would the telecom sector look in the next 5 to 10 years? I mean, those are very common questions that any seasoned professional in the telecom space is expected to have a view on. So I think that's fair. And then obviously, they followed up on the typical questions around why MBA and why IMA and why PGPX and so on and so forth. So I think that extempore part is important because, you start with that, and that's your opportunity to create that first impression on the panel. And what I've also seen between ISB and Ahmedabad, and I've been on the ISB interview panel as well. ISB specifically asks us not to make it a stress interview. On the other hand, I think IIM Ahmedabad for a major part, and correct me Vishal if I'm wrong, is a stress interview. They will want to see how do you perform under pressure, and that's, I think, very important, because a 1-year MBA is extremely rigorous, and if you're not able to perform under pressure, then you would have a hard time coping up. So in my view, I think it's actually very nuanced and specific, and there is a method to the madness that they follow, if I can call it that. But I think it's very nuanced, and you should prepare accordingly. Expect the stress interview, expect the extempore, expect that they would want you to be very thorough with your industry. But yeah, don't worry about Shah Rukh Khan ki agli movie kaun si hai. They're not going to ask.
No, I think Abhishek, I have to add here. Last year there were really big googlies, and Manan can share more on that. I would say yes. One area is your industry background. You should read about it. If you have to do it from today, please do it for next 10-15 days whenever the interview calls are made. Do read about your industry. As Abhishek said, like telecom, then 5G, Vodafone, Airtel, Jio, what's happening. But I would also urge you to read through the current affairs. It helps a lot. There were some extempore topics last year or the year before, even to me. The extempore topics can be of general nature, and many of times these are like soft questions, like whether women should be given 1 year medical leave at the time of maternity. So something like that. It is good, it is bad, whether men should have, very soft topics where you can't take a stand. So I think you should be prepared for everything, but be very open. try to read through even current affairs. I would say last time I think there was an extempore topic about a blast in Lebanon, a big blast in Lebanon, and it was asked in the extempore topic whether it was a security threat or you believe it was a terrorist attack or something like that. So be prepared for everything. Be open. They are not trying to judge your general knowledge. They are not, but they are definitely trying to prepare or you for that 1 year course. They were trying to understand whether you can perform under pressure or not. It is not necessary that you spell out all the information, all the data. It is not, but try to make some qualitative statements probably on the both sides. So be prepared for that. Be open in your mind. So I would another I think a topic I would say that apart from extempore, what has happened if extempore is good, they really move on to the next part like why MBA, then something from your essays, from your career or something like that. But sometimes I've seen that extempore topics can be discussed for about 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and it has happened with many guys. So I think key to that is probably to be prepared, try to read through some of the current affairs about your industry, and I think be open in your mind.
Yeah, and I'll an overarching advice would be, since a lot of people who apply to IIM Ahmedabad do not only apply to Ahmedabad, they apply to other college IIMs as well. By and large, the preparation pattern for all these IIMs is similar. Yes, there is a why MBA, why now, your profile part. A lot of them do cover general knowledge questions, and in this case, it will primarily, or I think most cases, be from the extempore topic and then move on in terms of that discussion. In a couple of cases, they were asked, to certain concepts from their engineering or CA days as well. Again, you can't really prepare for that. It's something that might or might not be asked, so don't fret over it. If you don't know it, just say that. It's fine. Again, the idea is not to reject you. The idea is to select you, and they are finding reasons for that. So make sure it's not a challenge around it. And from a preparation standpoint, again, it is one part is getting the content right. The other part is practicing. A lot of you who have been in different roles, you might not have interviewed for jobs for a long time, or MBA interviews would not have happened. So practice a lot. Practice with alums. Practice with, in case you have an admissions consultant around, do that, or with your senior colleagues. Important is to practice, and preferably with alums is all I'll say, because they've been there, done that, gone through the entire journey. They were in your shoes sometime before. Okay. Now, Abhishek, a couple of follow-up questions have come in for the second essay. The first one is, when talking about short-term goals, is it okay to list target roles in the organizations that are not listed on IIMA's list of recruitment companies?
Oh, I think it's fine as long as you can justify how will you achieve your goals. Okay, so you may say that I want to be this, in role X at company A, and that is fine if they, if that company does not visit the campus, or does not visit the campus for that role. But then you should be clear how would one, the PGPX or IIM Ahmedabad help you achieve that goal, and secondly, how will you go about it? You may say that, okay, they're not a recruiter, but there is this PGPX alum who works there, and I will connect with him, and probably that is how I will get in. You can also talk about the connects that professors may have, and that, oh, you want to work with the World Bank, and here's this professor who has worked with World Bank in the past, and he can help you get connected with the World Bank or the IMF or whatever it is, right? So that clarity in terms of how the MBA will help you achieve your short-term goal and what that goal is, I think both of those being clear on both those fronts is important. And it's very important to be clear about it. Just vaguely saying I want to be a management consultant or whatever does not amount to much, and it will lead to more questions than answers, which you would want to avoid in the interview. I mean, what is the best scenario for you in an interview? It's all very rosy and very smooth. They ask you simple, friendly, conversational like questions, right? That is the best case scenario, right? When will that happen? When there is absolute clarity on who you are, what you're doing, what are you setting out to achieve, how will you achieve. So all of those things, so the essays are an opportunity for you to present that, and the interview is just a way to confirm what you have said. Okay, but if you leave a lot of open-ended stuff in your essays, it will come back and hurt you in the interview when there'll be a lot of cross questioning on that. So that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Just to add what Abhishek said, one way to tackle this is you can write your target company's target roles. In fact, I would urge you to go through LinkedIn. If you're not clear what you really want to do and what are the responsibilities of that particular job, go on LinkedIn, find out the guys at middle management or top management level, what they do exactly. Go through their details and just connect it connect it with what you want to do. And then if the question is that this company doesn't visit our campus, then you can always say that, see, Placecom is driven and run by, placement committee is driven and run by students. The students decide which company to, pitch in. And then you can tell that, okay, if this company is not coming, then I'll make sure that I'll make a case for it in front of Placecom. Ideally, I would be part of the Placecom. I would make sure that this company comes on the campus. If it doesn't, then I will reach out to that company personally and make sure that this company visits the campus. I will show them the merit of the program. So there is a whole lot of things you can speak about. But be clear in your mind that there are answers to everything. But prepare for that why probably at every stage.
I think there's another question that came in. Is it okay to not mention a specific company or a target role? Ideally, you should mention like this, because we are sitting today in July. Maybe in the next we are in September now. My timeline is bad. We are in September, and in the next 1 year or so, you will be applying to those companies. So your short-term goal should be so specific and so clear that you can just see it and from a distance how it looks, etc. It's just that you can't touch it right now. So that's the level of clarity that should be there in that goal, right? Okay. Now, specifically,
just one more thing, Manan, before you move on. Sometimes we are very conservative. As an Indian, as a cultural people, we are very conservative with our aspirations. So I would urge people to be aspirational as much as possible. Of course, it has to connect. You should be very clear in your mind at how you'll achieve that. But be aspirational. People really like AdCom, really like to see people who are really trying to become leaders in the industries. So if you want to be aspirational, do that. It is really beneficial in the overall context of the application.
Great. Thanks, Vishal. Another question that has come in for the first essay is it okay that we mention part-time jobs challenges? Does it have to be from the full-time experience? Abhishek?
Well, interesting question, but I think most B schools are not really interested in your part-time experience. I think they are focused on what you've done full time in your career. So while there may be instances which may be very interesting, I would request that you avoid those part-time job instances, because again, it may probably lead to more questions than answers, and you might be faced with follow-up questions in the interview which you would want to avoid. If it is something which is extremely impactful, you have saved lives or whatever, and you truly believe that it deserves a mention, you can talk about it, because they're not specifically calling it out. Yeah.
Abhishek, it can be covered in essay number 2. I mean, essay number 2 is specific for that. See, essay number 1 and 3 is about your career, the main theme, right? But essay number 2 is about everything else. So you can cover your part-time achievement, and if it is really impactful, please do that in essay number 2. You must do that.
Sure. Yeah, that can be another way to tackle it. But yeah, again, best to avoid. But if you believe it's truly exceptional and deserves a mention, then like Vishal said, essay 2 or essay 1 or whatever you believe is more appropriate.
Yeah. And before we close, that was the last question, by the way. Before we close, just one point, both you and Abhishek, you and Vishal have mentioned that try and avoid questions in the interview in terms of, don't leave open-ended, etc. In some cases, if you are sure of the outcomes, is it, to my mind, it's okay to leave certain things open, and you know that this question will come, prepare well in advance, and when it comes, hit it out of the park. So that could be one approach as well. Again, I hope you're not confused about that, but make sure that there are certain, loopholes. If you can leave them open, do that, right? Another question that has come in: is it okay that you don't know about a topic in the interview? Yes. See, do not blabber if you don't know anything about it. If you don't know anything about a particular topic, just say it and move on. It is always okay, I'll get back to you or all that. And it's the same thing in the corporate world as well, right? You don't just keep on blabbering about it. In the extempore, you get a chance to change the topic. And once you pick the second topic, that is the one you have to answer. So if you don't like the first topic, the second one will have to be the one that you'll have to cover. Okay. So we've come to the end of the session. Any parting thoughts from you, Vishal, and then Abhishek?
Say another question, I think, but we have covered it.
I'll just reply to that. Go ahead, Vishal, closing thoughts.
I think, my closing thoughts, probably I started with that, make a story about yourself. It's very important that what you have done. Speak to someone close. I mean, someone close, someone your friend, your family. Probably sometimes what it happens, that you don't know what you have done, the impact of it. Some aspect of your personality can be told only by others, not by yourself, right? So it is important to talk to people, maybe alums, maybe your friends, family, even your boss. I would urge to talk to people and bounce it off with people that what you want to write. But before that, just make a theme of it, or make a story of it, that what you have done in your life, what you want to do, why you want to do an MBA, where you see yourself after 5 years, 2 years, 3 years. Be very clear in your mind. And I think I would say the difference between all the applicants is not much. I mean, anyone can crack it if you have been shortlisted. I think the 70-80% of job you have already done. Rest is only 20%, right? So the applicant ratio to admit, when we started was 10:1, and the interview was, I think, 3:1. So you have already covered close to 70% of the journey. It's only about 30%. The good thing and the bad thing is the difference is not much between all the applicants. So it has to be very compelling. Connect the dots of your story and make it very clear. Try to question yourself on the story part, that why you didn't do this, why you want to do this. Try to ask questions to yourself, and then try to formulate some answers basis that. And I think go through it, practice it, especially on extempore part. Practice it. Sometimes vocabulary is very limited. The speech, the tone, everything comes out only when you speak. When you speak to people, so that makes a lot of difference. So I think that's from me, Manan.
Thank you, Abhishek.
I think firstly, just be yourself, guys. Don't try to be somebody else. It's very important to present the true personality of who you are, because that is who you're going to be for the next 1 year, if you were to get selected in the program. And I think anybody who's seasoned enough at interviewing can see through whether you are faking it or you actually are genuine in your case. Secondly, practice. I think that is something that is extremely important. Take a lot of mocks, but on the final day, take that final interview as just another mock. Okay, don't think about the result. Think about the next question or the current question, and that's it. You cannot control the result. Even if you were to hit it out of the park on each and every question, there might be several other people who were better than you on that day. So you can't really control the result. So just be yourself, and be very, very focused on the current question. And it happens with us, especially when we believe that we haven't done well on the last question, and then we're like, okay, how do I recover? How do I come back? Please don't do that. Just focus on that particular question and answer it to the best of your ability. be honest. If you don't know something, say I don't know. You'll get brownie points for being honest than answering something which sounded stupid in hindsight. So that's all that I would like to say, guys. Wish you all the very best. Like Vishal said, you have covered a good part of the journey. It's the final lap, but don't be under any kind of pressure. Just take it as it comes, and hopefully, you all will get through. So good luck, and yeah, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Vishal, Manan, and Abhishek for joining us today on GMAT Club for this session. It was very informative. I think all of us got some great insights that we're going to take back home tonight. And the session has come to an end. So is there anything else you would like to add?
No, thank you. In case you guys have any further questions, my chat handle is Manan SOG on GMAT Club. Ping me or ask away on the group. We're happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And in case we've missed out any questions, just PM me and we can cover that off. Okay. All the best. And again, MBA is not the God's greatest gift to mankind. Do not fret over getting in or not getting in. Just be yourself as Abhishek and enjoy the process. Thank you so much.
All the best, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye. Good night.